Hi guys, and welcome to the Your Progress is Our Passion podcast. Today I am joined with Ellie, owner of the local vegan cafe in Southport, the Plant Academy. I'm personally not a vegan, but I appreciate everything that Ellie's doing down here, and I've eaten the food down here, and I've got to say it's absolutely fantastic. You don't have to be a vegan to enjoy vegan food. I personally think that everybody could do with a few more plants in their life, and I think Ellie's going to more than back me up on that one. One of the reasons for setting up this podcast, as well as kind of communicating the normal things like training, nutrition, mindset, and community, my four main pillars, was also to kind of show locally what other businesses are available for your health and wellness, and I just think that Ellie plays an important role in that around Southport, the area in which I train out of. So, Ellie, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about how you came to veganism, and a little bit about the cafe, how you set that up, and what vision is for it, I guess?
So, I'm Ellie. I started the Plant Academy a few months ago. I've been vegan for about 2 years now, maybe a bit longer. And before that I was vegetarian. I went veggie just because I found out about what was happening to our environment and what meat and dairy sort of did to our environment. Before that I kind of, cycled to uni or, was careful with how much electricity I use and sort of, worried about the environment in those aspects. And then I started finding out more and more, actually through my university degree, about the impact of animal agriculture on the environment, and that it was the #1 cause of global warming. And so I stopped eating meat at that point, and then a couple of years later I stopped eating dairy as well and eggs because I started watching animal rights videos and stuff, and sort of the softer ones really. I wasn't really interested in watching all the really horrible stuff. So I just watched a lot of the sort of softer animal rights things and went vegan overnight, and I had to learn how to cook again because obviously it is a different way of eating and cooking, but it was an exciting challenge for me, and I retaught myself how to cook. I got loads of cookbooks, and eventually I got to a position where I was able to start my own cafe, which had been my dream for quite a while, and here I am, sat in my own cafe serving people vegan food every day.
Awesome. So you said you had to relearn to cook. What was the day when you said you became a vegan overnight? Day one of being a vegan. What went wrong with the cooking?
Well, I just couldn't cook anything. I think I had rice and some cucumber sticks and some carrot sticks, and I was just that's what I thought vegan food was. I thought it was literally rice and sort of raw veggies. And it was obviously horrible. The night before that, I'd had a big pizza and thought, oh, how nice is pizza, loads of cheese, and then, watch these videos. The next day, I'm eating rice and veggies, bored, this can't be, what vegan food is. And so I actually started getting into Deliciously Ella. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's quite famous now, but at the time she was just sort of blogging. And she just released a book, and so I got that book, and I became a little bit obsessed with her. Only a little bit. I've met her 3 times, but that's not. You don't have to be that obsessed with her to like her food. You can just be normal obsessed. And so she basically retaught me how to use all these different ingredients, and how to use cashews to make cheese, or all these different flavors that I'd not used before, like miso. I didn't even know tamari was a thing. I mean, I'd used soy sauce, but I didn't really know, that was not necessarily the healthiest version of it. And so I was learning about these new foods and how to use them, and eventually I was able to bring that here and use healthier foods. And a lot of our stuff here is gluten free as well, which was partially inspired by that. Just because I wanted it to be open to everyone, really. Yeah.
Awesome. So what were some of the tricks that you learned to kind of bring flavour back into the food?
Cashews are life. Cashews can be anything. You soak cashews and you can turn them into a sauce, you can turn them into a salad dressing, you can turn it into cheese, you can make it into milk, you could use cashews to make milk, but all you have to do is soak them and then blend them and drain them, and you've got cashew milk. And it tastes amazing. You can also buy it in the supermarkets, you don't have to do that. Yeah. But all this stuff that I had no idea was in existence substance before. Like I'd relied on, fruit that you just buy from the supermarket, or milk that you just bought from the supermarket, and sauces that you just buy from the supermarket. I did know how to make my own sauce, but on a daily basis I couldn't really be bothered. I didn't think it would, my tomato sauce I thought was only a bit better than a shop bought. Why would I spend an extra 10 minutes to do that? I could be like, just chilling and do whatever I wanted, eating. But now, I don't use shop bought stuff. I make my own sauces to do everything, and it's just healthier and better. And I wouldn't have found that if I'd not gone vegan.
So you probably have quite a varied diet, but what does a day's worth of food look like for you?
At the moment, with it being nice weather outside, in sort of summer months, I would have fruit for breakfast. I like having like sweet cashew cream to go over the top of it, or mixing some raw almond butter with agave or something, to make like a sort of sauce that you can pour on your fruit as well. So it's not just fruit; it's fruit with some things. I also like having oats for breakfast sometimes, or a smoothie. And then for lunch, I tend to, now I'm here, I'll either have a salad that I'll just buy from the local veg shop, or I will just have a hot meal, so something with brown rice. Like today was chickpea curry with brown rice. And then for dinner, I'll have pasta or brown rice with loads of veggies. Like my favourite thing to do is like brown rice in the middle, loads of different veggies and tofu, and making sort of spicy sauce or something to go over the top. That's pretty epic. It's amazing, and it's really healthy.
Alright, awesome. One of the key things I think a lot of people think with veganism or even vegetarianism is like protein is meat, meat is protein, should I say. So in your diet, where do you see the protein coming from?
I get asked this question lots, like where do vegans get the protein? And normally I like to ask people, well, where do elephants and rhinos get their protein? Or gorillas? They're like the biggest animals, the most like muscly animals that we've got on our planet, and they're all vegan. So they're all vegan, and they're muscly. So like gorillas, for example, will have like a 90% vegan diet, and the other 10% tends to come from insects.
Right.
So insects are quite high in protein, but also the plants are both high in protein. And equally, a human diet is based. You're eating your protein from meat. Like I would get mine from plants, but you would probably get a lot of yours from chicken or cows or pigs. But they have all got their protein that you are then eating from the plants.
Mm-hmm.
So they are just a filter for you. So you're sort of getting that protein through this big filter, whereas I'm just going straight to the plant.
Yeah. So
I can get enough protein to sort of satisfy anyone just from eating plants. Like even broccoli has protein, spirulina powder has protein. Tofu's got loads of protein, black beans, lentils, chickpeas, like the list goes on and on. Like every single thing you eat has protein. And the truth really is that, it's different if you're training a lot, but for someone like me who does sort of yoga or something, I'm not doing heavy lifting, I don't need more than 50 grams of protein a day in order to not be protein deficient. And there's been no evidence in the Western world of a protein deficiency. So anyone who eats enough calories, so anyone who's getting 1,500 to 2,000 plus calories, are eating protein.
And that's the go Rice Krispies.
Even then, they probably are. There's some guy in Australia who lived off potatoes for a year, and he got all his bloods done, and he was perfect.
Really?
He only had potatoes for a year. It's on the internet.
I like potatoes. I don't think I've eaten just for a year. I think it's a common misconception is that there's not enough protein in a vegan or a vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
I think mainly because from the scientific point of view, there aren't complete proteins within that. There's not that one that contains
there's
all
not
essential.
one food that contains all complete proteins. You do have to go to different things to get the complete protein.
Yeah. But the thing is, we were made to eat a variety of foods to get a varied diet anyway.
Yeah.
So in a vegan or vegetarian environment, you're looking at things like combining things like chickpeas and rice, or broccoli and things like that to get the amino acids so you can get the full profile of it.
Yeah.
So as long as you're eating a varied source, you're still getting that.
Yeah.
If someone was to probably live, I imagine the guy with the potatoes, he probably had some amino acids missing.
Well, he would have. He only did it for a year. I mean, we're talking about a lifetime here. We're not talking about what you eat for 1 year. Eventually you can recover from anything really through food. So if he's like sort of screwed up his metabolism a bit in 1 year, he's got future years to sort of fix his body. But as far as I was aware, he had blood done constantly. He was coming out healthy and things because he was kind of doing it to sort of what's the point? Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned briefly yoga.
Yeah.
So is that something that you do for your body or your mind or a bit of both?
A bit of both. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
I started doing yoga when I was at university. I wrote an essay on yoga because I was doing a religious studies degree or things, and I wrote an essay on yoga. I thought I should probably try this out and see what it's all about. And so I went to a yoga class and I got hooked. And then when I moved home here, I found Sharon and Liz at the Dairy on King Street, and they sort of reignited my love for yoga. And now I'm hooked very much so.
Do you do a particular style?
I do restorative with them, which is like a yin yoga. So it's relaxation and quite meditative. And then I also do some hatha yoga with Liz. We do a lot of sun salutations at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she makes me do plank far too often. But that's more of the sort of physical side of things for me. The restorative is more of the relaxation.
See, I personally have a big belief in that our physiology and our mindset, our mood, are very linked in both directions. And I think something like yoga, particularly something you mentioned, sun salutations there, it's like even opening up and everything, all of that.
Yeah.
What effect does that have, like, sort of on how you are going into the session and to how you are coming out of the session?
I've gone in a few times, like, hating Liz for making me get up early in the morning, and I've watched something on the news that's really annoyed me, and I've gone in, like, fuming about what I've just seen on TV. Like, oh, this has happened in our country, how could that happen? And she's like, it's okay, we're going to do some yoga, we're going to chill out. We'll do, like, a whole hour of sun salutations, and by the end of it, I'm, like, ready for the day, and, like, forgotten my mood completely, and I'm, happy again, basically.
So it sort of returns you to a connection with your own body.
Yeah.
It retains you to that moment, not the crappy news that's come before it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like hitting the reset button, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long have you guys been in business here?
10 weeks.
Okay. And you do some other than just here, you do some work in the market as well. And you were telling me before that you're looking to kind of take food out into the community and stuff soon, or tell us a little bit about that.
So we already do the outdoor markets. We only do that about once a month, and we're just about to start partnering with the same yoga studio that I go to yoga at, and doing some work with them. And they basically want to take yoga, meditation, and healthy sort of vegan, vegetarian food out and make it there for everyone. Because things that they've learned in India, and I mean I had similar sort of experiences in India, but they very much so had sort of awakening experiences in India, and they feel like not everyone can afford to go to India. People can't go just like, oh, I'm going to go to India and learn this and study with a guru and whatever. And I mean, I can afford to do that now. So my way of like connecting with that is through yoga and through food, and they want to share that with more people. So I'm getting involved with them with that, and hopefully we're going to have quite a few events coming up that are aimed at people who want that experience, but the sort of India experience in Southport.
Yeah. Well, it's warm enough here for a change.
I know, today.
Okay, so normally the two questions I ask here are about the best and worst piece of advice that you hear. I'm going to frame these slightly different for you. What's probably the biggest myth or the biggest lie you hear said about veganism?
Oh, like everyone goes, I had a friend once who was vegan, and their doctor told them that they couldn't be vegan anymore because they would die. And I'm like, no one would die. Like seriously, like plants, like vegan food, like there's nothing in that can harm you in any way. Only good things can happen from eating plants. So yeah, like when people say that to me, I always have to like take a big deep breath in case I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah. And if you was kind of like speak to a non-vegan crowd, to say, to sort of give them some of the benefits of even maybe partial veganism, we're not talking like you became a vegan overnight.
Yeah.
We're not here to actually try and convert anyone to veganism overnight, but if you were to say, okay, a little bit more of this in your lifestyle, what would you say to them?
Everyone needs to eat more plants, really. You don't need to eat 100% plant-based to get the benefits. I mean, you can get more benefits the sort of healthier you eat, and sort of less dairy animal products you have. The more you can enjoy the benefits of plants, because the more calories that you can eat from plants, the more nutrition that you can get from those plants. So eating more, just having a green smoothie and a small salad for dinner, that even making those small changes can make a big difference. Or just there's like these meat-free Monday things. They can all add up, and really there's so many benefits from eating plants. There's not only environmental and animal stuff. There's like just our own health, like our own health and our community's health are all tied to eating more vegetables and fruits. Even beans and legumes. People tend to not be having a fibre, except for one thing. A lot of people will say to me, well, where do you get your protein? Well, for me that might be, well, where do you get your fibre?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people aren't eating enough fibre. Their digestion isn't good enough, and so they can't ingest properly and they can't digest properly their nutrients. So if you had too much meat, you can't properly digest your greens, then you're not going to get the good vitamins from the greens, because your body's using so much energy just to digest the food that you're trying, like the chicken or whatever, that it's not having enough energy to then use properly the vitamins from the kale or anything. So even if you're eating a fair bit of it, it's not always getting through your system. I found when I went vegan, I almost within a week or two, I had more energy. My skin started clearing up. My hair got shinier. My nails got shinier. I was just I felt like I was on cloud nine. Everything was just sort of clearer. I stopped having so much brain fog, which I had a lot of at that time, and my overall health has improved a lot since I went vegan.
Yeah. I think I'll just add to that, what I said to you when I first came in is I enjoy eating here, and I'm not vegan in the slightest. I'm I probably eat enough meat for the two of us. So, but it's there's always room for more plants, for more vegetables in a diet, and even someone who's not particularly willing to move away from meat, it's they can get so many benefits from that. And it means that what I just find really ironic is that people think of vegan as being the most specialist diet out there, when really, actually, anyone that follows any diet can come in and eat vegan, whereas people who are on a more specific diet can't go anywhere else. A vegan's restricted on where they can eat, but an omnivore, so to speak, is not. A vegan meal does not exclude them in the way, so it's actually probably the most inclusive diet on the planet, which is quite
and it's helpful that it tastes so good too.
Well, but it takes a bit of time to get it to taste so good. But, have you got any resources that you'd like to share with people on where they can learn more about veganism, or
a really good way of learning about veganism? There's a website called Viva, and they're a UK-based organisation that work on sort of educating people about veganism, and they have a really excellent cookbook as well that introduces you to the basics of vegan cooking. And then the other ways of learning about it, the best ways, are by watching some documentaries. There's some really good ones free on Netflix, so you can just go ahead and you just type into Google vegan documentaries on Netflix, a whole list will come up, and you'll be able to watch to your heart's content all this information, more detailed than what I've said to you. So that's a good sort of
I'm deliberately staying away from such documentaries. Although
many people do.
I know, I have watched the one on how hot dogs were made, and it didn't put me off hot dogs, so I could probably watch those documentaries and still be a carnivore, but maybe I'm just set in my ways. And how about where we can find information about you guys? Where are you guys on social media? What's your tags there?
We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter under the Plant Academy, and we're active on there most days. We also have a website, theplantacademy.com, and you can email me at Eleanor@theplantacademy.com. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. And for anyone that's local, you're in Southport Market,
Yeah,
just
we're here.
come to the back.
Yeah, we're the ones with the bright yellow chairs.
Yeah,
That's what I always say, you can't miss us.
You can't. Okay, is there anything else you think that you'd like to add that I've not asked?
No, you've done pretty good, I would say.
Awesome, thanks. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
So, thanks again, guys, for watching. It's been awesome spending this time with Ellie, learning a little bit more about her philosophies and a bit more about veganism in general. If you are local, I can highly recommend this place. The food is awesome, and as I said before, you do not have to be a vegan to enjoy vegan food. And, you know, again, one thing I will always say is that we can all benefit from more fruit and more veg in our diets. So, thank you for watching the Your Progress is Our Passion podcast, and I will see you guys next week.